Barron is the king of the internet. He's the king of the internet, oh.
Everyone recognizes his name, yet almost no one truly understands his story. In an age where every digital interaction exposes a new secret and media headlines vie for attention, one figure remains curiously untouched: Barron Trump. He doesn't seek the spotlight. He doesn't flood timelines. But behind his quiet demeanor lies an unfolding narrative that defies expectations. Whispers follow him everywhere, from the halls of NYU to the streets of Manhattan, even surfacing in places as unlikely as the Joe Rogan Experience. What part is he really playing in this vast political and social landscape? What is he carefully crafting while public attention focuses elsewhere? This isn't the version of Barron Trump you've heard before. In fact, what the public thinks they know about him may be the very part they've misunderstood the most. The enigma surrounding Barron Trump has persisted throughout his life. Born into one of America's most public families, Barron has managed to strike a rare balance between high visibility and complete concealment. While the rest of the Trump clan engages in controversy and the media circus, Barron has remained in the shadows, purposefully distant and fiercely private. His few appearances have only fueled the growing curiosity around him. Now a freshman at NYU's prestigious Stern School of Business, Barron continues to fascinate, yet the boy himself remains a mystery. He represents a contradiction, someone globally recognizable, yet personally unknown. In a cultural moment where digital presence often translates to influence, Barron Trump has chosen a different path. His absence from social media, a rarity among his generation, only adds to the intrigue. While the children of celebrities build identities through Instagram or TikTok, Barron's silence has become his message. That silence resonates. It creates a mystique that feels almost revolutionary in today's oversharing culture. Rumors and theories flood online spaces, filling the gaps left by Barron's unwillingness to share. The more he withholds, the more people speculate. His life, personality, and ambitions remain largely uncharted. And recently, hints of his influence have only deepened the mystery. Behind the scenes, Barron has been quietly modernizing media strategy, an effort noted during the 2024 presidential campaign of his father, Donald Trump. Sources revealed he recommended campaign appearances on platforms like the Joe Rogan Experience to connect with audiences through long-form, candid conversations devoid of media spin. Observers were struck by his understanding of how new media operates and were offered a rare peek into his strategic mindset. Still, Barron keeps to the background. He offers guidance, helps shape decisions, but never steps fully into the frame. His involvement in his father's media planning didn't solve the puzzle, it only added another piece to a portrait cloaked in intrigue. In a world where most public figures leverage visibility to secure their place, Barron has reversed the formula. He courts attention through absence, remaining unseen yet constantly watched. His life is pored over, speculated on, and dissected, but still, he's a ghost in the spotlight. His narrative unfolds not through viral clips or press coverage, but through carefully managed privacy and strategic silence. For now, Barron Trump remains the rare celebrity who is known by everyone yet understood by no one. Choosing invisibility in the bustling heart of New York City? That's not just unusual, it's extraordinary. Barron Trump's college life at New York University reflects an intentional departure from the norm, a blend of privilege, restraint, and a personal commitment to independence that clashes with the expectations typically associated with his last name. Enrolled at the elite Stern School of Business, he entered as both a public curiosity and a media magnet. Still, Barron managed to create a disciplined, low-profile existence despite being the son of a former U.S. president and standing out with his towering 6 feet 7 inches frame. His days unfold like scenes from a carefully directed film. Each morning, he departs Trump Tower in a convoy of sleek black SUVs, flanked by Secret Service agents and often shadowed by NYPD vehicles through the bustling streets of Manhattan. The convoy concludes its journey at NYU via a discreet private garage entrance, an arrangement that sets the tone for a uniquely private student experience. Where past NYU students of celebrity status, such as the Olsen twins, made headlines for their participation in campus culture, Barron Trump has remained notably removed. Reports suggest he skips NYU's lively dining halls and rarely makes appearances at university events, instead maintaining a tightly structured routine focused entirely on academics. Students say Barron is the type who simply goes to class and goes home, reinforcing his image as someone determined to build a life away from the noise. He remains off social media, a move virtually unheard of among his peers, and this silence only heightens his mystique. Despite being a figure whose life could easily dominate the tabloids, he seems fully committed to preserving his autonomy and remaining under the radar. The security presence surrounding Barron is what truly separates his experience from that of every other student. His life is protected to the finest detail by Secret Service agents who blend into the NYU crowd by dressing casually in jeans, sneakers, and hoodies. Yet even with such subtlety, their presence rarely goes unnoticed. Some students have even claimed agents follow Barron into the restroom. This level of round-the-clock surveillance builds an invisible but unmistakable barrier between Barron and everyday student life, effectively isolating him from casual interaction and ordinary campus experiences such as intramural sports or late-night dorm hangouts. According to rumors, he was once turned away from a bar in NoHo simply for being underage. These strict constraints have created a paradox. While Barron is often admired for his good looks, quiet confidence, and rumored enthusiasm for online gaming, especially FIFA, and his allegiance to Arsenal FC, his constant inaccessibility means many students barely get a chance to meet him. Female classmates, in particular, seem captivated by him, but lament that he's almost never around long enough to form a connection. Barron's determination to remain private in the face of overwhelming public scrutiny has given him a distinct identity within NYU. He is carving a path where he defines himself not through inherited fame, but through autonomy, restraint, and quiet ambition. As he balances the burden of his name with a desire for a grounded, authentic life, Barron is quietly cultivating a future that's entirely his own, far removed from the spotlight, yet closely watched by the world. One of the most unexpected and viral moments involving Barron Trump came during the Thanksgiving celebration of 2024 at Mar-a-Lago. Hosted by President-elect Donald Trump, the lavish event was attended by both family members and powerful guests, but it was a surprising interaction that stole the spotlight. An engaging and somewhat unanticipated conversation between Barron and tech magnate Elon Musk captured the public's imagination and quickly went viral. Elon Musk later disclosed that his exchange with Barron Trump was far from casual. What began as a conversation with the typically reserved NYU freshman quickly evolved into a dialogue steeped in meaningful topics like consciousness and video gaming, subjects that offered a surprising and intellectual dimension to Barron's emerging image. Musk, responding to a flurry of online commentary via X, formerly known as Twitter, provided a rare glimpse into the teenager's mind, revealing layers of thoughtfulness and depth. Contrary to assumptions that he might be quiet or disconnected, Barron demonstrated a sharp intellect and a capacity to engage deeply with one of the most influential figures in technology. Adding further weight to this impression, Musk's mother, May Musk, complimented Barron's intelligence, observing how the two sustained a vibrant conversation throughout the evening. These shared insights only amplified the online fascination surrounding Barron, adding a rich new layer to his already intriguing mystique. Adding levity to the evening's more intense discussions was a moment that took the internet by storm. During the traditional dance floor favorite, YMCA, a video captured Donald Trump lightly tapping Elon Musk on the shoulder, urging him to join the fun. Musk, known more for his stoic demeanor than spontaneous dance moves, momentarily surrendered to the festivities. His brief participation, followed by a jovial Thanksgiving post on X, proved that the event held more than just gravitas, it had humor and surprising camaraderie. The interaction gave Barron Trump his own viral moment while simultaneously showing Musk easing into Trump's political orbit. With his strong presence in U.S. politics, thanks to his outspoken policy views and support for Trump's cabinet picks, Musk appeared to be fostering a new rapport, potentially anchored by his bond with Barron. It hinted at a budding alliance driven by mutual respect, wherein Barron's clear passion for tech and strategic thinking might find synergy with Musk's entrepreneurial ethos. The scene teased a possible future where Barron emerges as a bridge, fusing politics, technology, and generational influence. Barron Trump's reputation as a budding technophile has sparked considerable public curiosity, especially after remarks from his father suggested a deep and instinctive connection with the digital world. In a lighthearted Fox News interview, Donald Trump expressed amusement at Barron's knack for bypassing parental controls and effortlessly mastering devices. These seemingly playful anecdotes underscored a more significant reality. Barron's fluency with technology goes far beyond basic usage, positioning him uniquely within the Trump household. Though some online critics mocked Donald Trump's astonishment, calling it out of touch, a closer inspection reveals that Barron's technological prowess is both genuine and sophisticated. According to Trump, his son not only keeps up with the latest social media shifts but also advises him on podcast placements and digital strategy, leveraging his keen grasp of youth culture to shape his father's outreach. This level of insight distinguishes Barron, not just from his family but from a political arena still catching up with the new media landscape. Barron appears to have found a strong footing within the world of gaming, a domain where Gen Z finds identity, community, and entertainment. During the viral Thanksgiving exchange, Musk revealed that video games formed part of their intellectual conversation, an insight that reinforced Barron's position within the gaming culture. This contributed to growing speculation that Barron not only plays modern titles like Diablo 4 but might also understand the intricacies of game-based communities and possibly streaming platforms. If true, this would further support the idea that Barron represents a rare blend, someone capable of spanning generational divides in both technology and media habits. It's a duality that makes him compelling to both his peers and political observers alike. With all eyes on his academic journey at NYU's Stern School of Business, questions naturally arise about how Barron might apply his tech-savvy instincts in a future career. There is now an air of expectation forming around him, an anticipation that he might carve out a future in the tech sector rather than walk the well-trodden path of politics and real estate that defines his lineage. Whether in tech entrepreneurship, digital innovation, or even gaming ventures, Barron appears poised to diverge from family tradition. His father has hinted as much, noting that Barron might not follow in the family's political or business deal-making footsteps. Instead, what's emerging is a portrait of a young man defined by intellectual curiosity, a strong command of technology, and an eye for strategy. He seems ready to step out from his father's towering shadow and construct a legacy uniquely his own, one rooted in the evolving landscape of digital media and innovation. Barron Trump's behind-the-scenes involvement in his father's 2024 presidential campaign introduced a new layer to his growing influence, one rooted not in traditional politics but in his grasp of digital culture. Quietly but significantly, he positioned himself as a vital advisor to Donald Trump, especially when it came to crafting a media strategy aimed at winning over Gen Z voters. Melania Trump confirmed that her son had taken an active role in helping his father understand the evolving nature of media consumption. As the campaign recognized how out of sync conventional outlets had become with younger demographics, Barron's familiarity with podcasting, influencer dynamics, and digital-first narratives became an essential asset. Among Barron's most impactful contributions was his push to involve Trump in non-traditional platforms, most notably encouraging appearances on major podcasts like the Joe Rogan Experience. Trump later acknowledged that it was Barron who introduced him to online influencers such as Adin Ross and Logan Paul, figures largely unknown to older generations but hugely influential among younger audiences. These well-timed recommendations helped Trump sidestep the legacy media entirely and speak directly to voters who value transparency and unscripted dialogue over polished, rehearsed soundbites. Barron's strategic guidance wasn't just about picking the right platforms, he understood the deeper dynamics of digital communication. He emphasized that younger audiences respond best to long-form, unfiltered content where public figures are challenged, humanized, and made relatable. Trump's guest appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast became a prime example of this strategy. It not only went viral but also reshaped his image in the eyes of skeptical younger voters. Media analysts and political commentators have called this one of the most forward-thinking elements of the entire campaign, attributing much of its success to Barron's sharp sense of digital media's evolving role. What's becoming evident is that Barron Trump's influence isn't a passing phase. He stands at the beginning of a generational shift within the Trump family legacy, marking a new chapter that blends politics with tech literacy and modern communication. His current role may be subtle, but it signals the rise of a new kind of figure in American public life, one who combines legacy influence with a deep understanding of how media, youth, and technology intersect in the 21st century. This ushers in a persona deeply attuned to the evolving landscape of digital media and modern engagement tactics. Barron Trump's involvement suggests he is far more than a passive presence in political circles. Instead, he is actively shaping new frameworks of communication. His vision, matched with his grasp of cultural shifts, places him in a prime position to influence how political narratives will be constructed and broadcast in an increasingly digital world. Just when the scope of Barron's involvement seemed surprising enough, Joe Rogan entered the conversation with his own observations. Joe Rogan's take on Barron Trump's increasing role in Donald Trump's political strategy blended admiration with pointed critique. As a vocal champion of podcasting and free-flowing dialogue, Rogan recognized the tactical brilliance behind the campaign's shift toward digital outreach, a transformation reportedly initiated by Barron himself. Rogan regarded this move as a sharp and timely recognition of where younger voters, in particular, now absorb political content. To Rogan, this represented a rare alignment between political tactics and genuine cultural resonance, a principle at the heart of his own platform's ethos. Even with his praise for Barron's digital strategy, Rogan did not shy away from criticizing the Trump administration's policies, especially those he found morally problematic. On a March 2025 episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, he vehemently criticized the deportation of Venezuelan makeup artist André José Hernández Romero, describing the act as horrific and indicative of an unjust immigration approach. Rogan supported stringent measures against criminal offenders, but he drew a moral boundary, warning that indiscriminate enforcement could alienate the moderate voters Trump's campaign aimed to court, especially those valuing ethics over partisanship. This balanced view is what positions Rogan as a unique figure in today's political dialogue, a platform builder who enables open discussion, while also calling out what he sees as ideological inconsistencies. While he acknowledged Barron's key role in updating Trump's media approach, Rogan emphasized that a sophisticated digital strategy must be paired with sound policy. Without that balance, even the most effective communications plan could fail to deliver its intended result of presenting a relatable, compassionate image of the candidate in question. Ultimately, Rogan's reflections placed Barron Trump in a broader political narrative. No longer simply the discreet son of a controversial figure, Barron began to be viewed, even by some Trump critics, as a pivotal figure of generational transition within the Trump lineage. Rogan's commentary points to a wider truth about today's political climate, that strategic communication now holds as much weight as policy itself. Barron's ability to guide his father toward authenticity-focused media engagements underscores a generational transformation, one that Rogan respects but also holds to a demanding standard for the evolution of American political discourse. Joe Rogan's trademark candor and biting humor were on full display when he responded to Donald Trump's widely criticized choice to play golf amid one of the most volatile economic periods of his presidency. As global financial markets reacted with turmoil to Trump's bold tariff declaration, a policy move that sent shockwaves through the international economy, Rogan, alongside comedian Ron White, seized the moment for satire on his podcast. The imagery of Trump leisurely golfing as economic uncertainty loomed provided the duo with the perfect material for sharp commentary on the surreal state of modern leadership. Rogan and White painted vivid scenes of Trump fielding international calls between golf swings, crafting a comedic but biting portrait of perceived presidential disengagement. White joked that the public's attempts to decode Trump's political strategy often gave him too much credit, quipping, "Is he playing checkers? Is he playing chess? No, he's playing golf." Rogan agreed with gusto, highlighting the absurdity of attributing sophisticated political scheming to a leader more focused on his backswing than a crumbling market. Rogan's critique wasn't just comic relief, it was a reminder of the gap between image and substance. Despite being a former Trump supporter, Rogan didn't hesitate to hold him accountable, suggesting that too often, followers justify erratic decisions with assumptions of grand plans. Yet, reality often lacks such calculated depth. For Rogan, true leadership requires more than tactical genius, it demands visible dedication in moments of national distress. His comedic takedown pointed to a broader truth, that trust must be earned through consistent, grounded behavior, especially in crises. In many ways, Rogan's satirical jabs at Trump embodied the contradictions of today's political stage, where curated illusions often outweigh concrete policy, and even loyal allies aren't shielded from critique if their actions feel tone-deaf. Rogan's blend of sharp humor and principled honesty exemplifies the role of modern political podcasting, as both a space for elevation and for accountability. It is this dual nature that makes platforms like Rogan's crucial, fostering strategic communication while demanding genuine responsiveness to public realities. The Joe Rogan Experience, JRE, has grown far beyond its original roots in comedy, lifestyle, and culture, evolving into one of the most influential platforms in the American political landscape. In an age where media is increasingly driven by brief clips and heavily edited narratives, JRE stands out as a haven for long-form, unfiltered discussion. This format has not only attracted a vast and devoted listener base but has also transformed the podcast into a powerful venue for airing political discourse, controversial stances, and layered debates. The moment that solidified JRE's status as a political heavyweight came during the 2024 U.S. presidential race. Donald Trump's decision to appear on Rogan's podcast was widely interpreted as a strategic bid to connect with voter segments typically unreceptive to traditional campaign methods. The episode, which spanned more than 3 hours, amassed an extraordinary 26 million views within its first 24 hours on YouTube, a milestone that underscored the platform's unmatched reach. This overwhelming response marked a turning point in campaign tactics, elevating appearances on dominant podcasts like JRE to a level of importance rivaling, if not surpassing, that of televised interviews and press briefings. The format allowed Trump to address audiences directly, free from editorial filters, projecting an image of relatability and openness. Joe Rogan's endorsement of Donald Trump serves as a pivotal moment, further solidifying the growing political influence of his podcast platform. His support resonated deeply due to his reputation as one of the few independent figures unafraid to critique both major parties. With young men forming the core of Rogan's audience, historically a group difficult to engage politically, his backing was widely interpreted as an unfiltered, sincere judgment rather than a scripted political gesture. By frequently addressing topics typically avoided by the mainstream media, like media distortion, misinformation, government control, and the value of free expression, Rogan established himself as a disruptive force in shaping political narratives. His endorsement blurred the lines between entertainment and political advocacy, signaling a shift in influence from traditional media outlets to prominent digital personalities. Ultimately, Rogan's rise mirrors a broader evolution in how citizens interact with politics in the digital era. The podcast's long-form, spontaneous format allows for substantive dialogue and candid exchanges, providing a welcome contrast to the rapid-fire headlines and reductive news cycles dominating older platforms. In this new digital environment, platforms like Rogan's champion authenticity and diversity of opinion, positioning them as powerful agents in shaping the political mindset of emerging generations. As the Joe Rogan Experience revolutionized modern political dialogue, another figure quietly studied the game and began applying it with remarkable precision: Barron Trump. Once largely in the background, Barron is now attracting increasing attention for what appears to be a carefully constructed path toward political involvement. Though he maintained a low profile for much of his life, his recent advisory role in Donald Trump's 2024 campaign signaled a turning point. Barron's ability to decode the digital behavior of Gen Z and his input on media engagement positioned him as more than just a participant; he became a strategic player. His efforts have prompted political analysts to wonder whether these experiences are intentional building blocks for a future in politics. Unlike his older siblings, whose political and business ventures have been extensively chronicled, Barron appears to be navigating a more forward-thinking and digitally attuned direction. Donald Trump has consistently emphasized loyalty and the integration of family in all his pursuits, especially in politics. Now, Barron, the youngest and most reserved of the Trump children, is stepping into a spotlight of his own. Described as sharp, composed, and technologically fluent, he draws attention without demanding it. His father has publicly recognized his intellect, praising not only his academic achievements but also his aptitude for understanding digital ecosystems and communication, qualities essential for political success in today's world. This visibility suggests that Barron could very well be the next torchbearer for the Trump legacy. This intentional low-profile approach may, in fact, be part of a long-term strategy designed by the Trump family. Political dynasties of the past, think Kennedys and Bushes, often cultivated future leaders within private circles, offering them a chance to observe, learn, and emerge fully prepared for public service. Barron's avoidance of controversy and deliberate withdrawal from constant media exposure may be a sign of such calculated grooming. By staying out of the limelight, he preserves the option to enter the political scene at a moment strategically chosen for maximum impact. Whether or not Barron eventually pursues a formal political career remains uncertain, but the trajectory of his recent involvement suggests that such a move is not far-fetched. His enrollment at NYU's Stern School of Business, coupled with his collaborative work on his father's campaign and his mastery of digital media, presents a compelling image of a young man being readied for significant public influence. Whether he chooses political office, tech entrepreneurship, or a hybrid of both, it is clear that Barron Trump is not simply riding on the coattails of his family name; he is actively defining his role in shaping the next chapter of the Trump narrative. Speculation surrounding Barron Trump's future continues to grow, not just because of his lineage, but because of the unique combination of talents and qualities he developed in his youth. Though many presumed he would inherit his father's business or political mantle, Barron's clear fascination with technology, digital innovation, and contemporary media points to a future shaped on his own terms. Now attending NYU's Stern School, he is equipping himself with the academic tools necessary to navigate both established industries and emergent tech spaces. This academic preparation places him in an ideal position to lead in areas where commerce, digital culture, and public influence intersect. Despite his public status, Barron has consistently maintained a carefully curated distance from the spotlight. Living with his mother, Melania Trump, in New York City, he has largely rejected the celebrity culture often associated with his surname. Even during rare public appearances, such as his presence during his father's 2024 victory speech, Barron manages to spark significant interest while avoiding the pitfalls of social media and public overexposure. This calculated discretion may be a tactical move, allowing him to control his public image and stay out of the sensationalist fray that so often derails young public figures. Political insiders and Trump family members alike have noted Barron's growing influence in digital strategy. He has reportedly advised Donald Trump on initiatives aimed at capturing the attention of Gen Z, particularly through podcasts and digital influencers. This engagement highlights Barron's sophisticated grasp of modern digital culture and strategic communication. Together, these skills fuel speculation that he may be positioning himself for a career in media, technology, or even political leadership, fields that blend his family legacy with forward-thinking innovation. Donald Trump himself has hinted that Barron might prefer tech ventures or innovation-led businesses over traditional politics. Positioned at a critical crossroads, Barron Trump holds the resources, education, and mindset to either lead in public office or establish a formidable presence in the next wave of digital entrepreneurship. Thanks for tuning in. If this story captivated you as much as it did us, be sure to hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations like this one. Don't stop now. Click the next video on your screen to discover another compelling angle that mainstream headlines may have missed.